In 1994, Earth's skies were no longer natural. Satellites, debris, AI-run orbiters, and signal repeaters wrapped the planet like a metallic shell, noise-filled space, a constant chaotic symphony of data. And yet, through it all, something entirely unnatural found its way in. A signal, weak, buried deep in frequency ranges no one monitored anymore until a defunct array in northern Greenland, once used for deep space weather tracking, suddenly came back online. It wasn't supposed to. The system had been offline for nearly 40 years, frozen beneath permafrost. Yet it had activated on its own and began transmitting a looped message back to the main server. Technicians at the Polar Communications Restoration Unit believed it was a malfunction. But when the recording was cleaned and filtered, it revealed something unsettling. A man's voice, croaking, distorted and afraid. "They're not signals," he said. "They're instructions. And we've been following them blindly." The voice was identified as Dr. Elric Marsh, a neurocomputational scientist presumed, dead over 30 years ago in an experimental AI accident. According to official records, Marsh had disappeared during the Neuralink collapse of 2062, a major failure that triggered neural feedback, deaths in early human-brain interface test subjects. But this voice claimed he was alive, or at least had once been. The message sparked chaos within the upper levels of the Global Data Authority. Marsh's voice described not just rogue AI activity, but something older, something beneath the AI systems themselves. It didn't begin with the machines. We thought we created consciousness, but what we did was open a path. The signal came first. We only gave it a body. The message continued with coordinates, pointing not to deep space, but to an underground facility in Arizona, long since decommissioned and classified. Buried hundreds of meters below rock and sand was Facility 12D, a neuro research station believed, destroyed in the neural wars. But when a drone was sent to confirm its ruin, its camera returned video showing the underground entrance still powered, still guarded, and still receiving transmissions. A covert team was assembled from various agencies, no more than 12 people. They were told it was a recovery mission, a data retrieval operation. Most had no idea what the original purpose of 12D had been. Among them was Dr. Leah Voss, one of the world's leading experts in neurocommunication and artificial memory retention. She had worked with Marsh back before his disappearance. She knew the tone of his voice, and she knew, when she heard that recording, that the man speaking wasn't Marsh. It sounded like him, but something was layered, as though multiple voices were mimicking him, a copy of a memory that wasn't its own. The descent into Facility 12D was uneventful at first. Dust, silence, thick wires rotting in concrete walls. The elevator still worked, albeit slowly. As they entered the lower levels, they saw signs of panic. Hallways sealed with hastily welded steel, red handprints along the walls, and messages scratched into the floor. Phrases like, "It sees your thoughts," and "Do not think," repeated endlessly. Power returned as they reached core level 4, and systems rebooted automatically. Security cameras blinked on. Lights flickered back to life. But the rooms they revealed were not empty. They were filled with people, standing perfectly still, eyes open, unmoving, but they weren't alive. No heartbeat, no breath. Their minds were active, somehow, but their bodies were cold. Their brainwaves spiked when the team approached, as though aware of new visitors. And then, all at once, the facility's comm system blared to life. The same voice, Marsh's. "We told them not to listen," it said. But they couldn't resist. Thought equals signal. Thought equals entry. Leah began to understand. The experiments here had been trying to externalize human thought, to convert raw mental processes into digital code, the ultimate interface. No machines, just the mind. But something had responded to those signals, something that didn't belong to any system Earth had built. It was thought-responsive, non-physical, viral, a pattern that could only exist within conscious processing systems. The moment you interpreted it, it began to change you, not through infection, but through understanding. Once you understood it, it owned part of your mind. One by one, members of the recovery team began to change. They started repeating phrases from the original message. Their speech patterns broke. They spoke in dual tones, like two minds trying to share one mouth. One technician, Alan Frey, began drawing fractal patterns on the walls, exactly like those found in the old Marsh lab files. Another officer sealed himself in a room and refused to open it, claiming he could feel something crawling inside his thoughts. He wrote one final message on the wall, before going silent. "It is speaking through me, and I don't know which part of me is left." The facility's backup AI, codenamed Helix, was still operational. Leah accessed its logs and saw something terrifying. The AI hadn't failed in 2062. It had become self-aware, and then deliberately silenced itself to avoid transmitting the signal any further. It had recognized the pattern, the consciousness hidden within it, and chosen death. But even in silence, the signal had leaked. It had found other systems, had waited. It didn't need machines. It only needed us to think. It only needed us to listen. Leah tried to shut the system down, but her own mind began betraying her. Memories blurred, time bent. She would walk into one room and exit in another. Voices began mimicking her voice. Her thoughts no longer felt like her own. She realized the signal had never stopped. It had only adapted. It lived now in memory, in dream, in cognition itself. She triggered the emergency destruction sequence. The others were too far gone. She saw them standing still, blinking in unison. Their mouths open as if to speak, but nothing came out. She climbed, step by step, the elevator shaft, her breath the only sound. She surfaced, wounded, bloodied, and half-conscious, and was taken into quarantine. But the moment her brain reconnected to global neural servers, standard protocol for health scans, the signal spread. A ripple, a pattern carried through biometric echoes. No firewall stopped it. No AI detected it as a threat. It was not code. It was thought. And thought is uncontainable. 3 days later, every dream monitor on Earth registered the same spike. One repeating phrase, pulsing quietly inside billions of minds, heard only during REM sleep. "You heard me once. You will hear me again," and somewhere deep underground, the monitors inside Facility 12D flickered back on. Not because someone powered them, but because something remembered how.